Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report from Barclays Center, Brooklyn. We're on the road,
That's right.
living the high life. Celtics riding high as well. 3-0 lead in this first round series. I don't think anyone expected this, even as high as some of us were.
I know you didn't. Neither did I, though. I gotta be
Sherrod,
honest.
he was real well on the Nets, but none of us predicted the sheer dominance here. And this was a bigger blowout, I felt, than it looked like on paper. Celtics running away with steal after steal into the fourth quarter, force quite a few turnovers. In the end, it ends up being 18 for Brooklyn. And you look on the stat sheet, Brooklyn shoots 40% from three, Celtics shoot 30% outside, at times stagnant offensively in the first half, similar story to the first two games, but they just build this massive possession advantage by attacking Brooklyn and making Kevin Durant incredibly passive, shooting 11 shots. He even admitted after the game that he was feeling indecisive.
And that was spot on. You know, I'm glad he was that transparent with the media because we saw it and we've seen Durant long enough to know that this isn't who he is, especially in the postseason now. Him being aggressive, him trying to will his team to victory. We were waiting to see that side of Durant, and it just never showed up, Bobby. You know, between him and Kyrie, they seem completely rattled. You have a 26 points from Bruce Brown. You got guys coming up big. I mean, someone like Dragic I thought would have got a little more playing time, but you could see Steve Nash was really in like desperation mode, trying to swap guys in and out. He tried to throw Blake out there just to get anything to, one, get stops, and two, to open up that offense, and it just never really happens. You know, the way his slumped shoulders, the way his demeanor was, it just seemed like he looked defeated out there while the rest of the team, you know, were trying to find some sort of continuity, some sort of rhythm, but the Celtics never faltered. Like, look, from the defense down to, you know, Jaylen Brown in the fourth quarter, Jayson Tatum doing his thing, dropping 39, but also being a playmaker out there. It was just overwhelming for the Brooklyn Nets, and you could see that.
Yeah, the visuals at the end of the game, too. Tatum's last second steal on Kyrie, the exclamation point dunk.
Yeah.
First play after Blake comes in. Rob's forcing Bruce Brown to kick it out to Blake, and he loses the ball, and Brown's taking it back for a slam. I don't know how many breakout slams the Celtics had in this game off turnovers.
It's like these guys could smell blood, Bobby. It really was. And the Celtics, man, they've come such a long way that now it's almost like they can just feel their opposing teams' like spirit dying, and they're like, okay, now we got these guys, and they went for the kill in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that's become the story of the series. Brooklyn's put up a fight. We talked game one, tough game for the Celtics to win. Game two, they had to come back down 17. But each time the Nets started to reel, the Celtics jumped all over it, whether it was poor defensive rotations. I thought they took big advantage of Kevin Durant's sloppiness on that end in this one. And then, of course, the big moment, Blake Griffin comes in. Barclays Center crowd gets excited, but Brown lines him up, shoots a step-back three over him, fires by him into the paint for two, and then blows by him a third time to get Tatum at three, and that's effectively where this game swung. Blake hit a couple threes, but the Nets couldn't get a stop in this game.
And you saw the energy start to deflate by the second half because Tatum's starting to pick up his rhythm. You know, Jaylen is starting to go again, and it's like all that sort of adjustments that I thought Steve Nash was trying to make, it was a little too late, I felt like. You know, if you're going to do something like that, if you're going to make rotation changes, which he was asked about during shoot-around, he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I felt like he put enough trust in he had enough trust in his guys where he should have did things a bit differently. Like, look, you look at the other end, Rob Williams coming back into the fold, like that was something that was relevant, whether Steve Nash wants to acknowledge it or not. That was something that's going to lift the team's spirit up, especially on the road, and the Celtics needed that. I mean, they that was only going to help them, I should say. You know, that was the benefit of having Rob back. Obviously, you know, his physicality, his athleticism, what he does on the floor, but also spiritually, I thought that was big for the Celtics. And I thought if you're the Brooklyn Nets, if you're Steve Nash, why not switch things up a bit? He decided not to, and we saw Kevin Durant's demeanor, we saw Kyrie Irving's demeanor, and it was just a recipe for disaster for the Nets.
Yeah, Rob Williams plays 15 minutes in his return from the meniscus tear. Celtics slot him for more. He ends up playing the 15 and a couple 5-minute stints. Good one in the first half. Second half wasn't as strong, but overall, the assessment from Brown, Tatum, Ime is that he looked like Rob, and that's what they expected coming in here.
Right.
They weren't going to push him back unless it was no swelling, no pain. He looks like Rob, and after some 20, 25-minute scrimmages, they were confident that he was able to do that, and the first alley-oop from Tatum to Rob was kind of a statement like, all right, he's back. It's not full Rob. Not full minutes, not a full role for him yet, but this is the beginning of the process of working him back. I asked both Jaylen and Jayson after the game what their reaction was to him coming back and how he played. They were both very excited. Here's what they said.
So we just got to keep executing the game plan and keep making it tough.
What was your reaction to Rob coming back, and how did he look to you out there?
Probably looked pretty damn good to me. Came back, instant impact. What he's been doing all year, protecting the rim, had some big blocks, some lobs. It was great to see him catch a lob. That was uplifting for everybody. And, just his presence being there on the floor, knowing he's behind us makes us feel good. And as we continue to go, we looking for him to continue to get his reps and come back strong and looking to make a push.
Man, I was extremely excited. I might be Rob's biggest fan. Rob and Bradley Beal is probably my two favorite players. So getting Rob back is huge for our team. Even in limited minutes, how much of an impact he made on the game. Even if it doesn't show up, just his presence, being a lob threat, rim protector, great passer. So, Rob was big for us off the bench tonight. And, if we was going to do anything special this year, this postseason, we definitely need him.
I think you threw the first lob to him and you threw down. What kind of gave you the confidence that he was ready for that?
Just seeing how hard he's been working. I think that's what I've seen from Rob since he, has been injured. How hard he's been working to get back, 2-a-days, weight room, treatment. I've seen the, maturity, in this last month, because how much he means to this team and how much we need him. So I've seen how hard he worked, and it just felt good to just throw it in there and he goes back.
Jayson especially. I'm Rob's biggest fan. My two favorite players in this league are Robert Williams and Bradley Beal.
I love that he said that because you could sort of see it. Look, it's easy to say that when you look at the box score. You see that he had 6 steals. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, defensively he was there. But, no, the box score doesn't tell the whole story, man. He's in people's faces. He's jumping through the passing lanes, hands up. I feel like it was like, okay, we got our defensive leader back, or at least our defensive, juggernaut that mans the middle. I'm going to put out the force out there before he gets on the floor, because Ime talked about how he wasn't going to start. And as soon as he came in, you saw the Celtics fans that were in the house got the standing ovation. His teammates gave him the standing ovation. It just all came together nicely, man, on the defensive end.
I love what Jaylen and Jayson talked about, too, from a maturity standpoint. I thought their pressers tonight reflected how far this team's come. Jaylen talking about needing to step up as leaders, talking to guys, pulling them aside, coming up with creative ways to step into that leadership void that the Celtics challenged them to get into. Jayson shoving aside questions about personal accolades, passing Durant where he's at in the league here, and both of them saying that it's all about making the right basketball play, playmaking, which we've clearly seen them both do plenty of in this series, and overall doing all the little things, because that's what they've had to do to compete in this series. As Jaylen talked about, boxing out, making the tough closeouts, and being very attentive to Durant and Irving, and they've effectively shut them out of this series.
And it's such a crucial part of Tatum's growth, right? Like to master that or begin to know how important that is, to incorporate your teammates, to find them on offense. Trust, right. 8 assists the other night in the first half. Defensively, knowing that, look, if we get this stop, it's going to lead to a big run. Maybe I'm a part of that, maybe not, but I know when we get the floor going, when we get the defense going, the flow of it's going to lead to easy looks on offense. Look, the game winner, it was Jayson Tatum, but all 5 Celtics players touched that ball before he got that game-winning shot. And I think all that is relative to what Tatum's trying to do right now in his evolution, and playing defense at a certain level where, okay, this is the maturation. This is the part where you start to become a top 5 guy. And I think we're all starting to witness that right now. I think we all knew that he had that capability, he had that in him, but we weren't quite sure if it was going to blossom, the way it is right now, especially in the postseason when it matters most. And it's almost as if like a young LeBron, it's like when LeBron James started to really pass the ball, knowing how important playmaking was. When a young LeBron James started to really take defense seriously. And look, I know maybe Celtics fans don't want to hear that sort of comparison. Maybe you'd rather hear someone like Paul Pierce or something like that. And yeah, he's got a little Paul in him as well offensively, but I just feel like that maturation, that growth that turned LeBron from being one of the top players to a top 5 to a top 3 player in the NBA, that's what it was. It was making sure that you become that playmaker, but also that top-notch guy on defense where everyone's going to follow your lead. That's what Tatum's doing right now.
Yeah, Grant Pritchard's play emblematic of that. They've been fully integrated, and emphasized in the offense. Both getting good shot looks. Horford with another big 3 down the stretch of this game as well. Tatum said if Horford's diving on the ball for a loose ball, as we saw late in this game too, there's no excuse for me not to. Just so much stuff I love hearing from the Celtics out of this one.
Contagious, Bobby. I'm telling you, man. This effort,
there's a strong sense that this team gets it. You see it on the floor and the way they talk now too. They've taken a leap in terms of where they're at maturity-wise and from a togetherness standpoint. And it's gotten them a 3-0 lead, well-deserved in this series. Game 4, back here on Monday. We're going to dig into the Nets. Don't worry about it. Check out our other video.
Bob, you're going to get that broom you got the broom ready for Game 4? I mean, you're the only one that called it. Let's keep it 100 here, Bobby. I mean, you were the one talking sweep at the Game 1 or Game 2?
Let's talk about it in the Nets video. Go check that out. calm.com/Garn, of course. Get a 40% discount off your subscription, yoga, meditation, sleep help. We're going to need that tonight after another exciting victory. And of course, check out Celtics All Access. Practice tomorrow. Celtics will have a little session that we'll have coverage of, and CLNS Media for all the post-game pressers that we mentioned here after this game. Game 4, 7 o'clock, Monday night here at Barclays Center. Bobby Manning, Josue Pavon, CLNS Media.